Hi friends, it's Natasha. Please grab a yoga block for today's yoga abs class. We will be working for 1 minute with 20 seconds of rest. Come onto your back and just stretch the right knee into the chest, nose to knee, and then extend the leg straight. Push it down, other side. Left knee to chest, knee to nose, straighten legs, L split, and release. Hug both knees in and drop them over to the right. Maybe a toe grab on the top foot. And then twist it over to your left. And you can tap or grab that top of the foot if you can reach it. Deep breath in and out. Just a quick warm up. Happy baby. Grab the inside top of the feet. Perhaps a straddle. And we'll rock up. Jump back to the hands and then come into tabletop for some cat-cow. Rounding and arching the spine. Exhale, round, separate the shoulder blades, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, arch, and set yourself back in a quick child's pose. You can take a quick counter stretch on the wrists, top, fingers back, fingers side to side. Rocking it out, engaging the core. Tuck your toes under, sit back on the heels, stretching the arches of the feet. You can take some cactus elbows and maybe rock back to the heels, into the knees, hips forward, gentle camel. Rock back to the heels, side stretch, lateral from side to side. Another twist. I'm moving through really quickly. This is just a quick warm-up stretch. You can really do whatever feels good for you here. And we're going to get started with the first exercise. Please feel free to hit pause at any time and also maybe play some music so it's not so silent. Right knee on the block, and you're going to take spinal balance. Left leg up, right arm up. Tuck knee to elbow, and then lateral extension. Tuck in the middle, spread your arm and leg to the sides of the room. Please note your right toes can come down at any point you feel too wobbly or you need a little bit more assistance or modification. Continue here, tuck in the center, lateral extension. Pretty wobbly maybe, that's okay. Switch, slide it under your left knee, left arm up, right knee up, tuck and extend to the side. Tuck in the center, lateral extension. Tight squeeze, compression, extension. Float those arms and leg away from the body. Tuck and extend. Get one more good one in and time. Release the block, come down onto your back side. We're going to take the block in between the feet for a sequence. See if you can memorize this sequence. Toes on block, hands over chest. You can lift your shoulders and head off the mat, or you can keep it rested down. Here we go. Drop your right leg, L, bring it back to the block. Left leg. Now both legs straddle. Reach the block through the legs for 2. Put the block in the feet and take the block side to side. Down and up, down and up. Press into those hands and shoulders. Repeat, toes into block, drop right leg, tap, drop left leg, tap, straddle, reach in between for 2, straddle, reach, put it in between the feet, and then drop those legs side and center. Inhale down, exhale up. Repeat, toes to blocks, drop, L split, 1, and double straddle. Reach in between those legs. Feet hold blocks, side to side. Leg drops. Lifting the weight of your legs. And rest. You can wash those knees side to side like windshield wipers. Take a breath. Going into our next exercise in the same position. We're going to take our block and put it on our shins. Extend the legs out and in. Here we go. Block to shins, support the head, extend legs. Then grab the block, extend legs, block overhead. Continue that sequence where you're just going with the block over the head and then onto the shins and opening. You can support the neck when you don't have the block in your hands, or you could even put that block behind your head as you go. So just do what works for you. Block to shins. You can also rest your head down like this if you need some time to rest the neck. It's 1 minute of work. Do the best you can. It's not that long. You can handle it. And again, you can always modify. Here I'm just making a slight change. When I let go of the block over the head, I straddle my knees. Think little frog legs, open, close, diamond. Block on shins and then knees apart and together. Block to shins, extend, knees apart and rest. Nice job. So if you feel a little lost on this first round, maybe do the class again right after or another day, and you'll be able to get into these moves a lot quicker. So quickly bring your feet onto the block, your knees in front in a kneeling position. Little Lolasana preps. Hands under shoulders, lift the hips, nose to knees and lower. Lift hips up and down. So knees, hips up here, and then hip thrust into like a kneeling pose, and then like a handstand on the hands, hips up. And that's all you're doing, going back and forth from kneeling to a handstand pike up. Get those hips as high as you can. Spread the fingers, anchor down into each fingertip. Push the shoulders down, lift the hips, then lower the knees, lift the chest. Keep fighting through. This is a tough one. Do the best you can. You don't have to lift the hips all the way over the shoulders, but give it a try if you can. Rest. Awesome job. Maybe a quick shake or counter stretch or blinks of the fingers and wrists. And then come quickly into a bridge pose, left foot on top of a block. And we're just going to thrust the hips up. Right knee will come into chest. Lift your right leg up, single leg bridge, hips up, hips down. 4, 3, thrust it up, 2, 1. Now add a side twisting crunch, oblique crunch. Try to keep your hips elevated. 4 twisting crunches, 4 regular hip thrusts, bridge. 3, 2, 1. Add your upper body trunk rotation, elbow to knee. Hips stay lifted if you can. Press into the shoulders. Press into that bottom foot. Quickly switch. Right foot on, hip thrust, knee up and down, hips up and down. And then add your right elbow to left knee, keeping the hips elevated. 4. We'll get 2 rounds in again. Hip thrust for 4. Adding in your side crunch for 4. Hips up. Lift that shoulder blade off the mat. Rotate across. And you made it. All right, maybe a quick hamstring stretch. Straighten out those legs. Next one, we're going to come onto the block with our low back on it and everything else kind of just hanging over the top. Stretch it out. This is going to be challenging. We're going to try to hold a low boat, lifting ourselves off the mat onto the block. Peel your body up into a little hollow back hold, and then release. Exhale, tuck the chin so the weight of your head is not too heavy, and then hold that low boat position. So we're going from a big extension to that flexion in that core, and you can add some pumps with the arms here. Exhale each one, lower down, rest, gather up that energy, tuck the chin, peel your body onto the block, little pulsing arms. Exhale the breath. Do it again, relax. Exhale, gather up that strength, tuck the chin, maybe you grab your legs to help you and pat that water. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, you got this, stretch. Exhale, peel up, low boat, hold, pump the arms like that 100. And rest. All right, Bring the block out, and we're going to come into a side laying position. Sit your hip up on your block. Extend that long leg in front of you at an angle. We're going to press into our hand, which is under the shoulder, and our top foot. Here we go. Hip thrust. Lift and lower, then leg toe tap. Hips up, hips down, fingers to toes. Hips up, sit, elevate, leg lift. Hips up and down. Press into that shoulder, squeeze the core. Now try to do this from the top. You'll lift the hips, knee to elbow, and sit. Hips thrust, elbow, knee tap, hips up, hips down. Quickly switch to the other side, starting in that seated position. Toe tap, hip thrust. Toe tap, hip thrust. You got it. So swing your leg up and then push into your hand to swing the hips up. Now keeping the hips elevated, add a elbow to knee crunch, then hip dip and lift. Elbow, knee crunch, exhale, hips down, hips up. Again. And rest. Great work. Come back onto your back side. We're going to do crisscross, and this time you'll have the block as a pillow behind your head. Lift your shoulders and head off the mat, but resting on the block, and start your twists. Exhale, just like a little bicycle crunches called crisscross in Pilates. Exhale and rotate. Head can be heavy, but we're really using our core to pull our shoulders off the mat. Oblique crunches, twisting side to side. Exhale each one. Fight for it. You can do this. Okay, quick change at the halfway point. Rock up to seated and then add a Russian twist. Block from hip to hip, knees going in opposition. Twist and exhale. Twist. If you need to modify, put the feet down and rotate just the upper body. And rest. Next move will be a plank move. So take any stretches you need to do, counter stretch on the wrists, some cat-cow. We're going to take some plank tucks just over the block. So you might play around with the setting or the height of your block. I get a little ambitious here, trying it on the top highest setting, and have to drop down to the middle. But see what you can do. It's all about compression here. Here we go. Set up your plank and put the block about at your belly. We're going to tuck our knees up and over it. Get ready and begin. Tuck and set it back. Knee tuck. Oops. Keep going. Tuck high. Maybe you tap the top of the foot on the block as you shift forward. Couple options here. So again, you can tuck as high as you can and then tap the top of your foot. Maybe your knee drops to the mat. You could also start to shift back into a loaded beast into a tuck position, kind of charging the energy forward. Play around. Maybe you lift your hands off when you tuck the knee and lower it into like a little balance. You can make these your own. You could also come up from down dog. This move will help you when you're trying to step forward from down dog to a lunge or just stepping to the top of the mat. Thinking of really hips up, tight compression, making as much space as you can. And rest. Beautiful. Come onto your back on this next one. We'll be doing some reverse curl work. Again, it'll be another sequence. And if you don't memorize it, you can just do what feels good. But we're going to have the block in our hands. Get ready to reverse curl up. Take those toes onto the block if you can. Remember, you can always set it up higher. One leg lift, other leg lifts. Now, twisting knee tucks. Twist to one armpit, tap the block. Twist to the other armpit, tap the block. One knee crunch, other knee crunch, and roll down. All right, that's the pattern. Elbows are pretty straight. Toes tap up, straighten one leg, other leg, lifts, tuck, twisting, like a little side crow, and then like a flying crow. One knee to elbow, other knee to elbow, slow lower down, legs drop. Sweep over, tap the block. One leg up and switch. Other leg up, strong core. Both knees tuck over to one side, little twist. Other side, twist, and knee to elbow tuck. Think compression again, and then slow roll down the vertebrae. Yes. All right, we just have one more move. You could take a forward fold there, and we're going to put the block in between our knees for some rolling like a ball. All right. So you use momentum, and then you stop the momentum with your core. Go. Rock, roll, freeze. Roll and freeze. You can try to go into a tuck, into a high V, and then into a squat. That is your option. Pick any sequence that works for you. So I'm doing one with knees bent, one high V, and one rock into chair pose. Squeezing the block in between the knees. Trying to stabilize those shakes by engaging the core. Option to add a little jump if you'd like. Bent knee, boat, straight leg, boat, and then roll into chair if you can. That doesn't work for everyone depending on your hips and ankles, so just do what you can. Last one, freeze. And you did it. Quick stretch here. You can always repeat this one more time as well. Wash your knees from side to side. Drop your knees over, hip thrust, lift and lower. Drop your knees, hip thrust, lift lower. Stretching out those hip flexors. Come into Malasana. Just breathe, wiggle, pull the knees apart, and jump into Chaturanga. Upward facing or cobra here. Let's do some cobra rolls. Inhale up, exhale down. Rolling, opening up the chest, the belly, the hip flexors, that front side of the body. Playing around with any shapes that feel good for you. Hang out as long as you like in your Sphinx, your up dogs, your cobras. And then I'm going to end this here with an up dog to downward facing dog. Making my way into a forward fold and a ragdoll up. Big breath in, big sigh out. Thanks for joining.